by bread alone. Yeah, this word got food in it. Stepping on the devil dome. You should see the bruise in it. Backing out the scripts. Told a demon to stand down. Go against the most high. We gon' see how it pan out. The Father gave me hope. Fill me with the ghosts. Now they hate it when I glow. Joseph with the coat. Looking for their fruit, but they ain't got no cantaloupe. The Messiah or Belial, you can't be a fan of both. Can't serve two masters. Bread of heaven with the living water, yeah, serving up a truth platter. We ain't idolizing no folly, now we setting up a new standard. When Christ touched down, make the whole earth shake like Bruce Banner. Yeah, bringing them troops to ya. End times getting spookier. Warfare getting nuclear. Mankind getting goofier. They intoxicated with a wine, damn, she done roofie them. I'm checking every word. Spirit doctrine like a proofreader. I hate these Nicolaitans. Hate these graven idols, man, I hate these flipping pagans. Trying to play my father and I hate these imitations. Screaming out Hosanna, we escape that simulation. Better flee to me.
Alright, I want to give all praises, all glory to the Most High, Yahweh, and we do so in the name of Yahweh Shai, Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. And today, we coming back with the Soldier Sunday, as we do every Sunday, and we going to touch on the topics of, watching the company that you keep, and also too, and at the same time, being able to fight temptation. So, it's very crucial, in these times that we living in too, to watch the company that you keep, watch the people that you got around you, your friends, your family, and the people that you surround yourself around. Because it's crucial, as people, we tend to give in to influence, we tend to give in to temptation, especially if you got people around you that's influencing you, or if they're not influencing you directly, in your ear, trying to put stuff in your ear, put bugs in your ear. They influencing you indirectly, by the stuff that they doing. So if you could bring that scripture up.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 1 and verse 1. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful.
You can hold Proverbs 13 and 20 for me. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly. So you're going to be blessed if you walk with people that's on that godly tip. And, the standard that we live by is the law, statutes, and commandments. Not saying, you can't be around ungodly people, because we know we're supposed to be the light to get them to turn to what we on. But on the flip side, if you surrounding yourself with too many ungodly people, that influence could rub off, and the tables could turn. You could do a whole 360 and, go from being a light to going back into darkness. You could bring that up.
You want me to drop the Psalms?
Yeah. You could go to Proverbs 13 and 20.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 13 and verse 20. He that walketh with wise men shall be wise, but a companion of fools shall be destroyed.
He that walketh with wise men shall be wise. That's because the people that you surrounding yourself around is like-minded. They're wise, they're smart, they're intelligent. So when they see you going off, or they see you, falling from the path, or you might slip. We all slip and fall here and there. But if you have that wise counsel around you, they're gonna put you back on game. They're gonna put you back on your pivot, and they're gonna make sure that you're moving right. Now, if you're around a whole bunch of people that's not wise men, they're not intelligent, they're not smart, they don't, they're gonna influence you. They're gonna influence you to go the other way. They're gonna influence you to go against the law, statutes, commandments, go against your morals, just because they don't have that wise counsel. You could bring out 1 Corinthians 15 and 33.
Let's see. You said 1 Corinthians.
Yeah, 15 and 33.
It's the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 15 and verse 33. It says, "Be not deceived. Evil communications corrupt good manners."
And that's true, because like I said, if you surrounding yourself with people that's not like-minded, that's not moving in the law, statutes, commandments, or that just don't have good morals at all, just being surrounded by a multitude of people like that, it'll start to rub off. Or if your flesh not strong enough, it'll start to rub off. That's why, God tell us in the Bible, tell us in the scriptures, tell us, dwell with a man of understanding. You don't dwell with the fools, because even if you dwelling around fools from the outside looking in, if I see you hanging with fools, there's 4 or 5 fools around. I'm a assume you the sixth fool, just because you are the company that you keep 9 times out of 10, and that's what our parents used to tell us. They always used to have the insight, and they was able to see what we weren't able to see as kids growing up, and they could see the character flaws of certain people, even though it wasn't to the law, statutes, and commandments, like the standard of the law, statutes, and commandments. They was able to see certain character flaws of people, and they always used to tell you, like, yo, I don't want you hanging around that person. I don't want you to hanging around that group of people, because they're gonna end you down the wrong road, or they're gonna go down the wrong road themselves. And more times than not, you know, either sooner or later you get down the line and you might fall out with a friend, you might fall out with a family member, and you go back to your parents and you might tell them, and they be like, yo, I told you this such and such years ago. That's like a situation with me. I fell out with some friends not too long ago. You get what I'm saying? 2, 3 years ago. And these friends that have been around 10, 11, 12 years. But growing up, middle school, my pop said, he told me, I don't even know why you hang around them niggas. You feel me? Like, I don't even know why you hang around them. They not you. They're nothing like you. And I couldn't see it at the time. I'm like, man, these my friends. I'm rocking with them till the wheels fall off. I'm trying to be super thorough, boy. You get what I'm saying? But turn out 10 years, 11, 12 years down the line, I started to see what my dad seen. You feel me? And I made that decision to, separate myself and get away from them. You could give me Exodus 23:2, or nah, hold on. Proverbs 1:10, my bad.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 1 and verse 10. My son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not.
So if you got people around you that's enticing you to go against your morals, go against your standards, and to do stuff that that is wrong, you know, don't even pay that no mind. Don't even pay that John no mind, because it's only one road you could lead. You could go down, dealing with people like that. Um, and also too, like in the Bible, we touching on, watching the company that you keep. We see in certain instances, like, the Samson story, the woman that he was messing with, she wasn't good company to keep, and ultimately look what happened to him. You get what I'm saying? Stories like Solomon, he had all those wives. He had wives of our nations, but he also had a lot of wives of other nations. You feel me? That wasn't like-minded, that was doing their own thing, worshiping other gods, and they influenced him, and ultimately he fell astray, and he went astray because of the influence and because of the people that he had around, the company that he had around. Um, you could give me James 1:14 through 15.
You said 13 through 15?
14 through 15.
God, this is the book of James, chapter 1 and verse 14. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. Verse 15. Then when lust have conceived, it bringeth forth sin. And sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death.
And we know the wage of sin is death. You wage sin, ultimately, the end of that is death. Every man that is tempted, and we gonna get tempted as men. It's gonna be that temptation. I fight temptation every day, whatever was your vice, you get tempted with the most. And then also other temptations come in. But such as hold on, drawn away of his own lust. But you can't get drawn away with your own lust. We do get tempted, but don't let your lust take over and then bring forth sin. We got to be able to fight that temptation and get past that temptation. You can give me Ephesians 6 and 11.
God, this is the book of Ephesians, chapter 6 and verse 11. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil.
And that's what we want to do. We want to put these laws, statutes, and commandments on, and study to show thyself approved. And just study and read. He says, "Blessed is the one that readeth." Why you gonna be blessed? Because you're reading. Is because you searching for knowledge, you searching for wisdom, you searching for the paths that we supposed to follow. And with that, you increase knowledge every time you dive into the scriptures and you find something new. And it's just our instructions on how we supposed to move and how we supposed to maneuver. And the more that you into that, the less temptation to be able to come in and overtake you. It's just staying in this word to keep you on your pivot and staying around like-minded people. That's also in this word to keep you on your pivot. Now, like I said, we got to go around worldly people and people that's not in these law, statutes, and commandments. That's just a given. And a part of us should want to be around ungodly people, because we need to draw them in. We need to be the light for them to come in and be the example for them to come in and follow what we got going on and follow these laws, statutes, and commandments.
I can make a point real quick.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so on that scripture, when it says, "Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil," it's like, it mean, like, granted, like, you don't want to go out your way to have wicked communications, but it's like you'll be able to, when you're talking to somebody and the conversation go left, you'll be able to see that spirit on that person and be like, you know what, I'm gonna end this conversation quick and I'm gonna just go the other way. It mean, like, a lot of times, like, that's what people don't do. Like, I tend to do that a lot nowadays, just working in customer service, and people get to talking to me, and I sit there and I listen. I give an ear. I don't really just shy away from everybody, because the scripture also said, you could be entertaining angels. You know what I mean? Like when you entertain a stranger. So I give everybody an ear, but then once I hear it and I see that you're not really like, like you're not really saying nothing, you're not talking about nothing, and quite frankly, half the time, half the people I talk to just don't be talking about nothing, or it be stuff that's really detrimental not only to themselves, but it could be detrimental to me. So I just would be like, all right, I might just move around. I end the conversation real quick, or like I let them get what they got to say out.
Yeah.
And I end with, all right, well, have a good one, and I just walk away. You know what I mean? Like, we're like, even with some coworkers, sometimes, like conversations get real weird, and I just be like, oh, all right, and I just leave. You know what I mean? I just leave it at that. But that's what but that's when you have on that armor, that's what you're able to do. You know what I mean? Just see the spirit on people and just get away from it. You know what I mean?
Right, for sure. And it's it's definitely it gives you the insight to see some bullshit before it's even coming to. You feel me? So it's like definitely put that armor on because it's gonna protect you. You know, it's gonna protect you. It's gonna protect you physically. It's gonna protect you mentally. You know, everything like that. And can you go to Cyrac 6-7? Wait, hold on. Yeah, Cyrac 6 and 7, and I'm gonna wrap it up with this.
Hey, guy, Sean, you can pull it up on your John, and I'll read it. You said Sirach 6 and 7?
Yeah.
This the book of Sirach, chapter 6 and verse 7. It says, if thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first, and be not hasty to credit him.
And to be honest, that's the whole conclusion to this whole lesson, because you know the whole lesson is about watching the company that you keep. You know, watch the influences that you have around you, because ultimately, you know, we want to stay on that narrow road. We don't want to stray off back to that broad road, because we know what come with that. And you know, you want to prove a friend, you know, before you credit him, you know, before you really call him a friend, because you don't know his intentions. Everybody have ulterior motives, whether it be consciously or subconsciously. You know, some people sent here to try to knock you off your pivot, and some people sent here, you know, to test you, you know, to see if you really on what you want. So be able to prove your friends and make sure they like-minded. Make sure, yeah, like I said, make sure they like-minded, and just make sure they on the same page as you, or you know, they headed in the same direction as you, because we not all at the same place and on the same level. You feel me? But make sure, you know, he moving in that direction. And you know, with that, I'ma say shalom, and I'm end it off like that.
Is where you laying, great is he inside of me, casting out this net like I was by the Sea of Galilee. Harvest gonna be plenty, but the laborers are few. Matthew 17 and 20, there ain't nothing we can't do. I can't be no lukewarm, fringes with the blue on. Devil wanna deal, but I told him this ain't Groupon. Praise to the Almighty, you know we gon' sing a new song. Hail the King of King, the ultra low, no Jimmy Neutron. If you keep his laws and his commands, then we can fellowship. I don't get with Pharisees and I don't rock with Hellenists. I am praising man, cause only Father get my reverence. I'm swimming in the word, it got me feeling like a yellowfin. Yeah, big stepper, Mr. Demon Chin Checker, trying to hear that well done, cause I feel that displeasure. Father pouring out the wrath, and he got a big measure. If it ain't about the kingdom, then I don't give a 6 letter. You got faith in the Messiah, you got power. I was clean up in that blood just like a shower. Isaiah 5, you were the vine that came out sour, but now we stand and giving glory in this hour. Yeah, we breaking them curses, fleeing the ways of the serpent. Follow his word and pray for discernment, cause they want us laying in hearses. We gotta rise up, raise and resurface. Choose life and stay in your purpose. The price was paid like a merchant, through Christ who came as a servant. See, the kingdom is really the bag, but yet somehow they chasing a Birkin. After this you ain't getting a chance, while you living you can't better search him. Gotta call on his name like his urchin, never knowing that day is emerging. So repent at the weight of perversions, judgment coming, that thing is for certain. Let's go.